I'm actually time traveling. I'm actually like time
I
traveling and I'm
know.
on the set with you and it takes just about to go and you've just said something really, really funny and I'm just sitting on top of like this bubble of giggles.
Or we'd make like fart noises. They'd be like rolling, rolling, and I'd be like. All right, yeah, we're back.
We're back. Hi, honey. Hello, hello. So,
yes,
I'm sure everyone is curious. How did we meet?
We met. Did we meet before the table read of Devil Wears Prada, or was it at the table read?
This is so embarrassing because I remember every second of the first time I met you, and you're like, did we?
No, because I also am very blurry on most memories, but...
I'm so much more into you than you are into me. It's fine.
How did we meet?
I remember because I joined the cast just before you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, who's gonna play Emily? Who's gonna play Emily? And he said...
They were like some random who's no one's ever heard of.
No, you hadn't been cast yet. And so, no, what I mean is, that was a bad joke. What I mean is, I was hearing that, you know, your name came up. And they said, it's this amazing girl out of England, and she's so funny. Aww. And then I remember David calling and saying that you'd gotten the part, and I remember walking into the room and like turning and meeting you. And I just remember going like, hi, buddy, in my head. Aww. And instant thought, I was like, what a movie star.
What?
First thought, there was like, you were like shedding stardust. It was crazy.
Are you getting this?
And I just remember thinking to myself, Emily Blunt is going to be the biggest deal. And then we just chatted and we went for coffee and I took you for a walk around where I live.
So I will say, I was just talking to our mutual friend this morning, to Jen, and I was saying, you know, I was so green coming into that situation. And I said she was so kind to me. And I didn't know New York, I didn't know anyone. And you were like the warmest embrace, and you were so good to me. And even though you were a colossal movie star at that time, you treated me like a complete equal to you, always. You are one of the people I've known longest. We've known each other for 18 years.
What?
18 years.
Our relationship is the age of an adult.
It really is.
We have an adult relationship. It's crazy.
That is a drinking age in
some countries.
In England.
We are so drunk in England right now.
Exactly. It was the wildest thing, and I know we just had a joy bomb of a time on that movie. It was so wild. I don't know if any of us knew it was going to become what it did. I mean, it's quoted to me every week. I don't know about you. It will be the movie that changed my life, and you couldn't have been kinder to me. And truly, because it was nerve-wracking. And I mean, we were both absolutely terrified.
We were, but that
last street.
I was so grateful to you, your gift of a personality, but also like your Britishness, because I found like the more nervous you get, the funnier you are.
That's how I get myself in trouble. I make stupid jokes.
But thank God for them, because I mean, it was like I love what you said. It was like a joy bomb, just of nonstop Mrs. Doubtfire references.
Yeah,
and
which now my children love.
Stop
so much.
Oh my gosh, time is so different.
They run by fruiting to me, and I'm like, and they try and do the voice and everything.
Go on, do it for them.
Oh, I saw him do it. It was a run by fruiting. It's the best, it's the best.
Oh, the terrorists, they ran that way. It was a run by fruiting.
So we are in the Devil Wears Prada club together, which is incredible. And now we're in another club together, the Christopher Nolan Club. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Captain Extraordinary.
I have been going to him all fucking day.
When we did Interstellar, Matthew McConaughey noted that when we were up in the glacier, like the colder it was and the harder the conditions were, like the bluer Chris's eyes got and the blonder his hair was, and he just...
I always feel with Chris's hair, I can tell when he's very happy with a take because his hair starts to dance. He has quite expressive hair, I noticed, and I can tell, it's almost like he sort of vibrates a little bit when he's really happy with the take. He's not going to tell you that he's that happy because he's very English, and so his version is like, happy? Yeah, moving on, okay. Yeah, all right, let's go. And you're like, was it good? You know. I remember when I first met Robert Downey Jr., I said, you're gonna just love it so much and the screws are gonna get tightened on you so much and it's just the most focused, wonderful unchaotic set. I said, but you're going to get some very British compliments. There will be no smoke blown up your ass, and you're going to have to be all right with it. But he is extraordinary. He's like a tempest of a talent encased in this completely calm or authoritative person. But he's fun, isn't he? And
So
warm
fun.
and accessible. And it's all those things that people kind of don't assume about him. I think everyone's very intimidated.
I think very, very, very intimidated. And it's so exciting when you talk to him and you realize he's still a human being, having a life
And a dad.
that is very real.
Like a good dad.
And yeah.
Like, we've all been on those sets where the director is like a bad dad. You know what I mean? Like a bad dad who has an ego and an agenda, and I just feel Chris is a good one.
The part that blows my mind about Chris is that because he is authoritative in the best sense of the word, is how deeply he really listens. Oh my God. And he's so present with you.
Yeah. Did you like how he'd stand by the camera and watch you? Like,
yes.
no monitors, no sort of yelling from the tent in a puffy coat as we're all freezing. He's there freezing with you, and he's just watching you, and he's leaning into you.
And it's all about the work.
Yeah, completely.
And the whole set is so focused on that. And I remember when I was on Dark Knight Rises, one of the crew members, we were just chatting one day, she said, you know, I've really got imposter syndrome being here. And I said, oh really? And she said, yeah, but then someone else told me, if you're on a Christopher Nolan set, that means you might be one of the 3 best people at your job in the world. And I thought about that, and I was like, it's kind of true, actually. And so I
remember this day, because he really expects it from everyone, you know, he really wants that kind of excellence.
He gives it. He brings it.
And he just, the magnitude of what he is capable of, I think he just expects the same from everyone. I remember we were doing this shot around a table, and it was a very difficult shot to get as the dolly's coming behind me like that. And we did it a few times, and we couldn't get it. And the dolly had to come around to me and rack focus as I turned to Killian, and the whole scene's about she's a drunken mess and everything, as per usual. And
Again.
And it comes around, and it was just hard to get it right. And so I said, do you want me just to turn on a specific line, Chris? And he goes, no, that's not for you to worry about. He goes, because that's why I've hired the best, right, Ryan? Because you're going to get it, aren't you? And Brian on the dolly was like, absolutely, you know. But it was just kind of that assumption that he would get it, and he did get it. And it was just, I don't know, he just is, I just love it.
I know. It's kind of hard to express, because I love what you said about the magnitude of him. And so the last thing you expect from someone like that is that they're also kind.
Oh, he's so kind.
And they also really value kindness. And I remember there was this one day we were doing a shot on Dark Knight Rises, and he came to me beforehand. He said, now I just want you to know, the shot has lived in my head for many years.
Oh, God.
So I'm going to be very specific about it. I'm going to make you do it a lot, but it's not actually you. It's just because I have it in my head a certain way. And I couldn't, because he didn't have to, like, I would have done it however many times he wanted, like 1,000 more, like whatever.
But just to preface
need.
it by saying so that you didn't shrink and start to question yourself.
Exactly.
You know? He's just he's a wonderful. I get lost for words about him. I mean, we all felt that way, and we're all so proud to be in it. Like, we're so blown away.
Can I tell you that I saw that watching the movie?
Yeah.
Because the movie's the movie, and I am at a loss for words, and you are just so wonderful in it. I was just because I've known you for so long, I was so proud of you.
Oh,
she was so different than you.
Yeah.
Like, so different, and you're so warm, and you're so funny, and you're just like, a room is better with you in it. And she's kind of like the opposite of you. She's kind of like a dying star that like contracts painfully and dramatically and reacts to things and is frightening.
Commit to sin, and then have us all feel sorry for you that it had consequences.
Knowing you as I do, I knew that that's a stretch. so the way Kitty contracts around her life, you know, rather than kind of opening to it, and then when she finally does open and you realize, oh God, the pain that she'd been in the whole time, and sort of the indignity of her life.
Yeah,
that's
an amazing word to use, and actually the perfect word to use. And I so appreciate everything that you're saying. I can't even tell you. It's so, because you speak so beautifully, and you kind of word things that even I haven't quite been able to grasp about her and what it meant to play her. I did find her ferocity so exciting. I thought she was so exhilarating. I mean, he was her fourth husband by the time she was 29. Like, clearly she was a bit of a nonconformist for the time. And that deterioration that she goes through and the indignity, as you say, of having to contort herself into something that was so unnatural for that extraordinary brain and the capacity of it that was so straitjacketed and squandered, really, and wasted. And I understood the anger so much and the resentment at her lot in life, you know, and why she must have just wanted to numb it out, you know.
Yeah.
And the isolation and loneliness of Los Alamos, you know, she was a big party animal as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'd throw cocktail parties, but she wasn't good at the small talk. She didn't like doing it. And so she definitely got the reputation of not being terribly nice, and I understand why. But she was a bad mother. She did not read Good Housekeeping, you know, at all. She did not subscribe.
She needed a kitchen.
She knew she needed a kitchen, but she was probably not a very good cook, just to shake up a martini.
Where else are we going to put the ice?
Where's the freezer? I kind of fell in love with her completely and all of her ugliness.
Yeah.
Loved it.
It's just it was all so very long ago, Mr. Robb, wasn't it?
Not really.
Long enough to have
Did
forgotten.
you return the card or rip it up?
The card whose existence I've forgotten?
That scene that you talk about, the testifying scene, I saw it as that reclamation of that brilliant brain, like coming back to life. And when all the odds were against her and no one believed in her and she was so volatile and so unpredictable at that time, it was so exciting. It's such a cool setup that Chris gave me, you know, and it literally says in the script she's barely walking in a straight line, getting into the, and you're just like, oh my God, she's going to choke, you know.
Oh, the way you choke, the way you did before he gives you the glass of water. The thing I loved was I couldn't tell. You managed to make me equally believe that it was put on, she was luring them in, and that it was something that was happening, and she was smart enough to know how to lean into it and use it. And she was playing chess with the moment, but I couldn't tell right off the bat if it was something that she was like, I know exactly how they see me. I know exactly where their biases are, and I know exactly how to play them.
Yeah. I also remember in the scene, Jason Clarke, who's just a great dance partner, you know, for a scene.
Yes.
Because he's so brilliant.
Yes.
But I remember he said to Chris, I think I'm gonna just move my chair in and I'm gonna get really close to her. And actually, I remember it made me like bristle, and it kind of made me go, let's roll. Like, let's do this.
Do you mean
it was so
that
cool.
that because he and the character wanted to invade
he wanted
her
to
space?
intimidate me and invade my space, and like that thing as most women have experienced when a man tries to intimidate you.
You go up to the wall, but not through it.
That's right. And it's just like, it kind of just makes you want to fight.
Yeah.
It was really fun. It was a very exhilarating
fun.
scene. It was so fun.
It looked
So
really,
fun.
really
So
fun. And when
fun.
you let this cackle out, I was like, there she is.
I was so relieved.
There she
Probably like relieved. That it was done. Yeah, it was a really such a heroic moment for her, and I'm so grateful that she gets that moment, because she had deteriorated to such an extent. It was so wonderful to give her a moment of you know, soaring at the end.
The whole metaphor of a star dying, and what Chris did with the cinematographer. Who was your cinematographer?
Hoyte van Hoyte.
It was Hoyte?
Yeah.
I thought it was.
I know.
Hoyte did Interstellar.
Oh, he's heaven. He's heaven. He's so brilliant.
I know, he is.
And they're like soul twins together. Chris.
Well,
and
so
Hoyte.
I worked with Hoyte and
Was
Chris
that
on the
their
first
first
one, so they must
Oh,
be
it's
like so deep in love. You can
secret
tell.
language stuff.
You can tell
It's
how in love they
beautiful.
are
Oh,
through every shot. I mean,
Chris
every
loves
time.
Hoyte more than anyone in the world, I think. I mean, apart from Emma and his children, sorry, but she says quickly.
But but the whole cast felt, it was one of those thrilling things, because you know what it is. Like, there's the moment, there's the times when you're number one on the call sheet, you're the Killian of the cast, and then there's the ensemble work.
Yeah.
And it's such an exciting place to be as an actor.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, I don't just get my moment, don't get my solo, but I have to hold space for everybody.
Yeah.
And you're like, this job is about being present and listening
Yeah.
and creating the veracity of the world around this person.
It's so true, and actually because it's told from Cillian's perspective, he's so extraordinary and mercurial and all of those things.
And
he
intimate.
Keeps you, oh God.
He's so intimate in his performance.
He's so intimate and he's so vulnerable and beautiful. But I think all of these other characters come in who are quite colourful, you know, and they just extract different facets of this very mysterious personality. And so I kind of love that all of our scenes were so, I feel like I would jet pack in and just have these very high octane emotional scenes with him and then leave and then come back 10 days later and do another thing. I mean, it was much easier for us.
But it also seems to me like that's the Chris of it and the Oppenheimer of it. It's like that thing, I could see every single cast member aware that they were in the presence
That's right.
of probably the best director that they were ever going to work with.
Oh, I think,
You know, and
I
so,
don't know
so
where
it's that extra. I saw it. I saw it, and then there was one scene. There was like 20 speaking parts in it, and everybody was so. It was just like actor. I was in such heaven because everyone was so open, so listening, and so specific in their part. Everyone had worked their craft so much.
Yeah.
If they had a line, if they were just in the scene.
Yeah.
Nobody. The entire cast was showed up so prepared.
It was
just
beautiful
like,
that way.
look
It
at
was
what
so
that can do.
focused. It
that
was
level of
just-
respect and inspiration.
Well, he kind of, I mean, you just do. Like, he walks in the room and you know it's going to be a very rare day. A day after day was a rare day. It was amazing.
Wake up! It is Strauss. It's always been Strauss, and you know it. Why won't you fight him?
The film is a hit.
I know.
The film was a hit. It was so big. It was so
3-hour
like.
historical drama, even though I don't even want to call it that, because I think it's like a horror movie and it's a love story and it's a chase thriller and it's just...
Paranoid thriller where at the end you're just like, but I actually do have so much to be scared
Yeah.
about. Like I'm not paranoid. I'm just very, very
kind of like a
terrified.
3-hour heart attack, the film, you know? Little bit.
Completely.
No, I couldn't feel my legs afterwards. I remember staggering towards Chris going, I don't know how to describe this experience.
Yeah.
But I can't believe, none of us, we are all very awestruck by the success of it and that people ran to the theatres and they ran over and over again to see it. And I don't think even Chris understands how it all happened. I think we're all just enjoying this kind of meteoric moment that's really difficult to word. And I think people want the full kidnap of an experience, and you are going to get that with a Chris Nolan movie.
Absolutely.
I think that kind of togetherness that people crave, we crave experiencing something in the dark together and being pinned to our seats by the experience that is impossible to word. And I think people are overwhelmed and heart-wrenched by it. And he doesn't sort of presuppose that you're not going to understand anything. He's really uncompromising in that vision. He expects you to be at your most heightened awareness of what's going on. And like, he doesn't leave anyone behind, but he's also nothing spoon-fed. And I will never forget, like, I think when I realized that Oppenheimer was going to be part of a big movement and a very significant moment in history, in cinema, it was, you know, because of the strike, we were never able to watch the movie with an audience, any of us. And it was really sad, you know, because of all the movies I've done, I was like, is that one that I want to see at the premiere? Normally, I don't really need to watch it at the premiere. We'll go have a party or whatever. But I really wanted to watch it with an audience, and we didn't get to. So I remember opening weekend, John and I managed to find 2 seats at an IMAX in Nyack, New York.
Perfect.
In a shopping mall. At 4 p.m. And we went and we snuck in when the lights went dark, and I saw a group of teenage boys coming in dressed as him in Nyack, New York, and I got like chills. I was like, oh my God. I remember calling Cillian afterwards, you're not gonna believe what I just saw.
Oh, I love
like 15-year-old boys with like a fake martini. It was so amazing, with like pipes dangling out of their mouth.
Nyack, we love you.
Yeah, Nyack, we love you. It was wild. It was wild.
I have my own ideas.
Kind ideas.
You can never tell anyone, do you understand? Promise me.
okay?
I found Eileen completely riveting.
Thank you.
And I was completely intoxicated by Rebecca. And I felt gripped by how you just would glide into this very muted world with this ferocious allure that you have. You are so sexy in this movie. It's crazy.
Thank you.
I know, I'm gonna make
She
you blush.
ruins it.
So sexy in the movie. And you just would glide in. And I couldn't figure out, it's that thing of going, do I want to be with her or be her? It was just so ambiguous and seductive, and your chemistry with Eileen is just, it's so beautiful. And I couldn't even figure out if you were like almost a ghost of her mother or the idealized version of who her mother was. And like, is she like a specter? Is she a friend? Is she a foe? Is she it was so deliciously deceptive and it was just gorgeous.
Never stop talking.
No,
Thank
it was
you.
so
Oh my
beautiful.
God.
It was just so magnetic.
Let the
And I
sound of your
always
voice sing
find
me to sleep tonight.
I always find you so magnetic, but there was something, I love you just embracing all of that kind of allure and sexuality, and like, it's just beautiful. And I want to know why you wanted to do it, and what was it about the part that made you go, ooh, I'm so in?
Ooh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's all true. It's beautiful.
William Oldroyd, the director, made a film called Lady Macbeth with Florence Pugh.
Yes.
And I saw it when it came out because I'm always really curious about emerging filmmakers. And I was just, my jaw was on the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was so bold. Yeah. Her performance.
Isn't she brilliant?
Yes.
She's just
Yes.
she's brilliant.
Really, really brilliant. And it was like Aphrodite coming out of a shell, because I'd never seen her before. And then all of a sudden it was this person sitting in front of me picking her teeth. And it was so unreal. And I thought, well, you know, it's his first film and she's new. So if it's all her, he knew what he had. And if it's him too, amazing. So I was really curious about what it would be like to work with him. And then
What was he like?
Dream.
Really?
He's so, oh my gosh, he's so fun. He's so fun. And he had this, first of all, he's brilliant, you know, kind of has come up through the theater. And so and he's joyful.
Yeah.
And he's funny.
Yeah, that you could feel it in the movie. There was like a sort of relishing the violence and the shocks, and there was this wonderful relishment of it that was wicked, you know.
He's a giggle of a person while also being, you know, delighted by darkness.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
and
then I was delighted by darkness. It was just, he knew exactly kind of how to pull you into this vortex of just this devilish darkness.
I think so.
It was so cool.
I think, and the thing about Will that I appreciated so much was we were an indie, so like we had a tiny budget.
What did you make it for?
I don't remember, but it was in New Jersey, so I imagine $8 to $11 million. And Ari Wegner was our cinematographer, who just watching her work was so exciting. And you know, she needed the time she needed for her art and her work, and then we would have so much to do, and it was indie, and we were all in wigs, and you know, all the underpinnings and all the stuff, and I would be like, we don't have enough time to shoot this scene. The scene is so complicated. And somehow Will would like dilate time around us. And all of the stress of being on an independent film set where you can imagine people are just like looking at the watch and kind of killing the vibe, Will body blocked the entire thing.
Heaven.
And actually, so I would come out of scenes like in a blackout thinking that we'd been filming it for 7 hours and it had been like 50 minutes. Like it was just, it kind of started to, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And I had to trust him so much because it was I was stepping so far outside my comfort zone. You know, with this one, like, because there's a version where you hug the safe stuff and you're just like, I know how I look as a brunette. I know how my voice sounds. I know, you know, what playing someone a little bit more like me is. And then I'm like,
yeah, but it's so wonderful to see you do.
Other person
yeah, but it was so dangerous and cool.
And we wanted her to be dangerous, and it was great. I remember
it's okay to be a bit scared, isn't it? Don't you find? I feel like it's.
I feel braver now.
I love a little
I
bit
enjoy
of
it.
terror.
Yeah. Oh God, when you're making it?
Yeah, it's a bit of terror is great.
I'm learning to enjoy it. This is the film that kind of got me to transition into enjoying it because I remember sitting with a friend, like just on a weekend, just like this, and he's like, "You okay?" And I'm just like, "I think I've gone too far this time." And he was just like, "Tell me everything," and I'm just like, "Oh God, I'm blonde and I invented an accent," and I'm
No,
just
but
like,
I
she
think
doesn't.
it's
I'm like, because she's self-invented, and so I did all these. I just made all these choices that don't have any kind of. I don't know, I'm not playing someone, I'm not basing it on anyone except for my own imagination. This is the way I saw her, and this is how I just want her to be, and I just feel like maybe I've gone too far.
Oh, but that's why she's like this rare bird that comes in and just bewitches everybody. And so it's sort of wonderful that everything was so put on because you couldn't get a beat on her.
That was the hope.
You couldn't get a beat on her. She was so mysterious and...
Well, he turned to me and he just goes, I hear that, but you'd have been so mad at yourself if you hadn't gone for it. And I was just like, oh yeah, you're right. And then the film came out and I realized I was so happy because my instinct was to trust Will and to trust everybody really and to just kind of get lost in the making of it because, and especially being in that cast, Thomasin McKenzie and Marin Ireland.
Yeah, that monologue at the end. Oh my God.
Oh my God. And Shea Wiggum. And so it was kind of like, stop worrying so much. Just be here. Just be here. You're playing a part in this cast, and it's a really important part because you're the one that makes everybody doubt everything.
Oh, that scream you do in the kitchen.
Thank you.
I actually went back and watched it again because I just loved it so much. I was like, boop. I think that's what I love about these moments of sort of startling force that you had that was so out of nowhere. You know, so she just felt so edgy and dangerous to me all the time. And you could see this girl, Thomasin, but I don't know if she had to even, push anything in those scenes because she must have just been like that.
To Eileen, my Christmas savior.
Savior? I didn't do anything.
Well, you being a friend, that's everything. Cheers.
I want you to tell me about that bottle of wine scene and how on earth did you open it like that and tell me everything about that moment.
Well, it was in the script.
Okay.
And we were in a home in January in New Jersey, and it said in the script, she puts a bottle of wine in a shoe and hits it against the wall until the cork pops out.
That was a great trick.
Who's done
Does it work?
I know.
You just go, does it? And the prop guy assured me that it did.
Should we all just do it as a party trick now?
Now we should. Now it's a thing now. And TikTok, please. What
TikTok.
Get on
Make
it.
this a thing.
And it was funny because that moment, I'm someone, I love to be in a space ahead of time. I love to work at my props. I love to know my path with it.
Yeah.
And I don't remember which day of filming it on, but we were like, it was that thing where we were talking about that terror. Like I was sitting on top of the terror and it felt like things were going okay, but it also, you're flying so blind. And I just remember grabbing the bottle and the first hit was so satisfying. And I was just like, I know exactly why she is doing this. And the cork popped out on one the first time because I was just so full of some kind of fury. I didn't even know what it was. Because you know how sometimes you're like, I don't even know what's coming into me right now or what's, like I'm downloading something or channeling something. It feels so, but there was this force to her in that scene. And also she's been so poised up to that point and so in control. And she's so disturbed and so unnerved by what's going on. And she is sitting on top of a scream. And this is the moment that happens just before the scream. And so to actually get the physical release, because I feel like there's a physical component to the film as well about, how people, we need to go crazy. Like we need to bust out or we're just going to, I can't say it because it gives away too much about the film, but like the film for me is such a metaphor as to why we keep falling backwards, and to me, the film, the ending of the film is very ambiguous.
It's so ambiguous. I was like, more, no, I need to know more.
Well, but that to me is the terrifying part of it. I'm like, it's so ambiguous that I can't talk about it.
I just desperately wanted to know more. I wanted to know what happened, and that sort of ambiguous smile she has at the moment, and whatever awakening you triggered in her, you know that it has been life-shifting, and the fingerprints of you will be on her forever, and it was terribly human as well. Like, we don't always have all the answers. We don't always know what the outcome of things will be. But I did love that in that scene with the wine and then into the scream, is that it's also a different side of you, this wobbly, vulnerable, unnerved side of the character. And you'd gone from being so pulled together and so poised and so exciting. And then I think the danger, weirdly, is how weary you look and unnerved suddenly in that, and conflicted. And I just didn't know what was going on with you in that scene. And then you went, I have her tied up downstairs. And I was
Emily, that is a spoiler. I love that you just brought up how weary she is, because that's what let me be so heightened in the beginning, because I just thought, I can have so much fun playing someone. I kind of imagined her as
But what a thing to hold together. It's so much pressure to uphold that mirage all the time.
So much pressure to uphold the mirage. And but I also thought, she's made a deal with the devil.
Yeah.
And
He's also a great dancer, so you could have
that was fun. And she's aware that she's walking into a space where there's never been someone like her. And she knows that she's going to meet this wall of resistance. And so she's just like, they're not going to see me any other way except for as a woman when I walk into this room. So I'm going to give them quite a woman. And while they're over here kind of staring at the bright, shiny thing, I'm going to be doing exactly what it is that I want to do. And there's a deception kind of built into her in that, but I think that's exactly what the definition of glamorizing is. On day one of filming, we began with a scene in the bar. So, and it was like a 5-page monologue. I'm like, wow, Rebecca talks a lot. And then we got to this page 2, and it was like a 3-page monologue. I'm like, yeah, she's still talking. And then we got to the 3rd scene, and I'm like, oh God, she's a serial monologuer. And I was just like, and I'm just like, oh, she's one of those people that's probably so amazing to meet, and then like becomes so. And then at a certain point, you're just
great at a dinner party, though.
She's perfect.
Professional dinner guest.
She's a professional dinner guest. She's so good at it, but a long weekend.
And I bet she never gets that messy.
I'm a young woman with so much gumption. I'm like that too. I don't give a rat's ass what people think.
They're probably scared of you.
Oh, goody, we got some fun questions.
TikTok and make that trend.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so we have some incredible quotes from The Devil Wears Prada. Some are your characters' lines, some are other characters'
Oh
lines.
my God.
Okay.
Ah! Do you want me to go first?
I would love it.
Is there some reason my coffee isn't here? Has she died or something? Remember that one? And I think that was improv.
Has she died or something?
There was so
There was
much.
so many different ones.
She was so, you too, by the way. I remember that. I remember coming in after seeing like Meryl come up with like 18 different lines on the spot, Stanley doing the same you, and I was just like this kindergartner who was like, how are they all so good?
No,
and I went up
not
to you and I was
true.
like, how are you doing this? And you went, I practiced the night before.
Yeah.
And you're like,
practice and
I'm
try a few
prepared. I'm like,
different. Yeah.
is that how this works?
I loved that moment. So
Is that how this
was. Does she say that? She says it to me, right? She
I
says
think
it
when
to
I'm-
me, and you're late.
And then that's when you get up and you're just like, get in here, I have to pee, or something
Yes,
like that.
yes. Get in here. I have to pee.
Peed since you left?
What took you so long? I have to pee. What? You haven't peed since I left?
That's right. All right. You
Doesn't
go.
it all come back so vividly?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay.
God. Oh, this is so good. Looking at these, this is wild. Okay.
Can you please spell Gabbana?
Can you please spell Gabbana? Hello?
Were you there?
That's the cutest.
Were you there when we did that? Because it
I was there. Was I, or had I gone to pee?
That's it. You were on your pee break.
I was on my pee break.
Because I remember when we filmed
And your cute little voice, and your cute little sweater, and that hair, and that skirt. Can you spell Gabbana? Oh, that's so cute.
So this is a fancy
And
story.
then they hang up on you. Hello?
Stefano? I was in Italy recently, and I showed up at the hotel, and they baked a cake I arrived in my hotel room to a cake, and I was like, this is amazing. It was Italian cake, so it was really good. And they'd written on the top, can you please spell Gabbana?
That is so...
Not the greatest?
It's the greatest.
Oh my God.
It is quoted to me all the time. I mean, my flight attendant coming over went,
I love that.
I'm still working on my stomach flu. It was so cool. And I was like, yeah. And then people also misquote that I'm one stomach flu away from my goal weight.
Do you correct them, or do you let them live in it?
No, I just let them say it because I think
that's
there's
the right
various versions, you know.
Like older version of me 1.0 would have been like, actually, the line is... And I would have meant it so nicely. But no, 2.0, I'm like, that's your Devil Wears Prada.
That's it. That's not mine. Okay, this is one of my favorites. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have some prior commitment? Do you have some hideous skirt convention to go to?
Some hideous skirt convention you have to go to.
Sometimes
I love it.
Cracks
you crack yourself up 18 years later because that's what happened on the day.
No, because I would laugh all the time because I just felt I was so horrible to you most of the time in this movie. And it was your little face, like this beautiful, like slightly sort of baffled face, but stunned by the meanness. Like, oh, I could barely ever get through that. Like some hideous skirt convention. I mean, it's just, I don't even know if that was scripted or if we...
No, it wasn't. It was, how did, and I have to say, there's something about your particular voice saying the word hideous.
Hideous.
It just hits in this really good spot. And I have to say, if you've never seen the Devil Wears Prada blooper reel,
oh, you've got
I highly recommend it because this one is charm. It's, I mean, you look like you're having more fun than anyone has ever had on any film set. And I can vouch for it. And you were.
Laughter. I had so much fun. Do you remember so it was my first day of shooting, and it's actually on the blooper reel, and it's when I'm running down the corridor, pushing everyone out of the way, and I'm not very good walking in heels. This person is unbelievable in heels, as you've seen in Devil Wears Prada. She's just like leaping around cobblestone streets. 5-inch stilettos. I was like, oh, I'd be dead. I would have no knees, they'd be gone. But I remember racing down the corridor, and it was a kind of, I guess it was on a dolly or something, and I'm racing down, and I'm supposed to crash into Meryl, or almost crash into her at the end, and I had to do this like turn, and I fell so hard out of frame. And I just remember Meryl going, oh, you know.
I don't understand why it's so difficult.
I think she always wanted to join in the fun, and she kept herself so in character.
Do you know she's never done method acting since? She said it made her so miserable on this one, because we were all having a party on the other side of the set, and she was like, I won't do this again.
No, it was so, because I remember a couple times like trying to talk to her, I'm like, I can't tell if I'm really off about this, but I think she wants to talk to me.
I think it wasn't that we couldn't approach her, it was just that she didn't quite, she's such a broad and she's so fun and warm, and I think it just...
do you remember in the morning she would like be Meryl in rehearsals, and it was like the blonde hair, and it was just like this, Mike Nichols once described her as this irrepressible spring, and I'm like, oh, that's so good.
Oh my God, it's so true.
And she would just be that person, and then she would come back and just be this block of ice. Yeah. And it was just, it was,
couldn't penetrate, just amazing.
I remember coming in and you being like, I really ate it on this one take.
I really what?
You're like, I ate it on this one take.
Yeah, I ate it.
Went down. But the thing you're a magical performer. I was just thinking the other day about you in Into the Woods, and the way, like, you're walking through and you're like, first a prince, then a child, then a prince, then a woman.
First a witch, then a child, then a prince, then a woman who can.
And you, like, eat your scarf or something, your apron, but you just, like, it's just, you're so alive in your work. And I just remember, like, I think I was stunned. I think I was a deer in headlights, because I was like, who is this creature who's just effervescent?
But I have
like,
to
it's
say,
amazing.
No, and Stanley and I talk about this all the time, who's now my brother-in-law. I mean,
By the way,
crazy is that?
By the way.
Fell in love with him on that movie.
Well, I'm just so happy to know that, like, the love and the chemistry that I was feeling off of you, like, I was like, this is really a lot. I'm like, I was actually watching a family before.
Yeah, and we
which is really special.
He's wonderful, and we always talk about it, that we could come in with all our sort of sharp edges and you know, one-liners, but you are the glue of that. I mean, you hold the whole thing together. You had an impossible part to shine like that and be that believable and just wonderfully charming and endearing, and we all have been Andy, you know.
It was David. It was David Frankel and a lot of
Okay,
Patricia
give me
Neal.
your line.
No, I'm not going to go all the way there. It was very tempting.
Oh, God.
By all means, move at a glacial pace.
Pace,
You know how that thrills
me. Oh.
You know how that thrills me.
That day.
That was fantastic.
That day, like, changed me as an actor because I like knew I was like, it was Meryl doing an emotional scene. And the set was so quiet. Was it? So quiet. And
I remember you telling me about it afterwards, and you said it was the most raw thing you'd seen, and everyone's energy was like so reduced to keep her. I think people were just like.
I think everyone was grateful. Everyone, it was, when we're talking about the Chris thing of it all, because there's an aspect of our industry that, you know, like, I think there's an etiquette to set. I don't think you bring your phone onto set and you're scrolling in between takes. I think that you're working with something very precious and ephemeral and can break very easily. And I love to have a laugh on set, but I do take what we do very seriously. And I think it was the crew realizing they were witnessing something great.
Yes.
And being fully present in it.
Yes.
And
how stripped back she suddenly was. Talk about the mirage gone.
Yeah. And I also think it was her. I think it was her, like her just sitting there,
so
greatest
broken.
actress ever, and just no makeup and just sitting there, just having the space. And none of us wanted to be the one to not even disturb it. It wasn't that fragile. We just all wanted to just not get in the way. And so we all wanted, so we all did our jobs as well as we could. You know, that was the way the respect was shown. So I was supposed to ask you how you remember that, but I've filled in the answer.
What, that scene?
Yes.
Oh, well, I mean, okay. Is it me? Shall I ask? Okay. This is it. This is the line. Well, I don't eat anything, and when I feel like I'm about to faint, I eat a cube of cheese.
When I feel like I'm about to faint, I eat a cube of cheese.
Guys, it works a treat.
Can we? One of the most iconic lines in cinema history, Emily.
I do, that line gets misquoted to me as well. They go like, I don't know, people always kind of paraphrase it.
Oh God, I remember feeling so lost in that scene and just like, you were so in the pocket and I'm like, thank God she's here.
You were never lost in the scene, by the way, never.
No,
Do you remember when you're like, God, Em, you look so thin? And I say, well, I'm on this new diet. Mm-hmm. And then that's...
But I just also just love that like Emily was the authority on this aspect of herself. Like, you know, so because she was always running, you know. I think But
it was such a funny...
And you were so cute with your cold.
With a very red nose and they would actually spray menthol in my eyes. I sort of had this idea. I was like, why don't you just like put menthol in my eyes and then they'll stream, and then my nose got so red. Mm-hmm. And I remember walking into the board meeting they're having? And, and Meryl was so repulsed by me coming in. Like I remember handing her, I don't know, a clipboard of something, and she was like, what did she say? Like antibacterial wipe or something.
But it
was so cool.
But I remember I've used the eye watering trick, by the way, since like when you have a cold, I'm like, because it activates your sinuses in a very helpful way.
I remember going home and I was like, I think I do feel sick. Like you kind of have been streaming with this fake cold all day that I did feel a bit sick at the end of it.
Did you come up with I love my job, I love my job?
Yeah.
So I just have to say, so much of this film is David Frankel just like giving space. You know,
and
just
you kind of throw the kitchen sink at it, and like, of course you're going to kind of poop the bed sometimes, and it's not always going to be great. But his curiosity to see, and I just remember him giggling behind the camera,
and just creating an environment where you just he let joy live on the set
completely.
You know, and he encouraged it, and he's so good. I mean, he's an amazing person.
He is. He's heaven.
Yeah,
he's heaven. He's heaven. He's a
talk about a good dad.
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
She's not happy unless everyone around her is panicked, nauseous, or suicidal.
She is not happy unless everyone around her is panicked, nauseous, or suicidal.
I don't remember this.
He's making the grilled cheese, and you go, I'm not even hungry anymore.
I'm not even hungry anymore.
Remember that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I am wearing my cousin's headband in that scene. We used to do face masks together, and
do you know what I loved about you in that headband is your little bangs would stick up. It was just so cute. It was so nerdy. And I wanted that grilled cheese so badly.
it looked so good.
I know. Do you remember how mad he was? You
$7 of Jarlsberg.
You eat carbs, for Christ's sake. God, I think was the line.
You eat carbs, for Christ's sake.
As I'm just, it's not fair.
You're
No,
eating
so
your pudding.
unfair.
It's so unfair.
So unfair.
And how I'm like, finally, do you remember how the nurse comes in and he brings me a tray of food
And you turn
I'm
so holy.
grateful.
You turn like angelic in your martyrdom.
Thank you very much, you know, because it's the first time she's eaten it forever.
Who is that sad little person? Are we doing a before and after piece? I don't know.
Oh my God, it's Stanley. That's Stanley. Sad little person. Oh my God, it's so Stan, isn't it?
Who is that sad little person?
I know, we're going
chills
through.
thinking of Stanley on the day he found his ring.
His enormous ring. Like, could kill someone with that ring.
I think
Yeah. Well,
Stanley's on set.
I think he asked to keep
He's
it.
gesticulating.
He did ask to keep it, maybe, that ring. Yeah. And
Ask
this is
him.
like,
Call your brother-in-law.
I know. Call him. I can now.
You can.
No, I get free pans.
Oh, God.
Big deal.
Has he given you a Parmesan wheel?
He tried to, but we don't live in England. So I was like, how are you going to get me a Parmesan wheel, you know?
He smuggled it.
Yeah, but he's...
In a very stinky piece of hand luggage.
And we went over to their house during COVID, and they were like our family, literally. They are a family. And he made this carbonara inside the cheese wheel. I can't. Like, put the pasta inside the dugout Parmesan wheel, whisked it around, and it was just like... I can't even talk about it.
That's great.
I do eat carbs, for Christ's sake. It's fantastic.
I'm not gonna lie, I got a little turned on by that.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Like the idea, oh,
the kindest. You're so articulate. Oh, so eloquent. Did you guys dig it?